As the morning light softens around you, let the gentle rhythm of the present fade into the distance, carried away by a quiet breeze. Imagine yourself stepping gently from the warmth of your surroundings into the shadowed fields of 14th century Europe, where the air carries the faint scent of damp earth and the distant toll of a village bell. This journey will take you to the lives of medieval peasants facing the relentless grip of the Black Death, a time of quiet endurance and resilience. Tonight, we will explore the daily struggles of a peasant household, the calm leadership of a village priest, the mystery of plague pits, and the contrasting life of a noble manor, all woven into a steady narrative to guide you toward rest. Settle into the stillness and let the rhythm of their lives begin to soothe your mind as we embark on this peaceful voyage through history. As the faint toll of the village bell lingers in your mind, let us step softly into the life of a medieval peasant family in England, the year 1348, where the rhythm of survival meets the shadow of the Black Death. Imagine yourself rising before dawn, the air cool and thick with the scent of damp earth and the faint temps of wood smoke from a nearby hearth. The landscape stretches before you, a patchwork of fields under a pale sky, the ground soft with morning dew, and a small thatched hut where your day begins. Settle into the steady pace of this life, and let the quiet details guide your thoughts as we explore their resilience amid hardship. Picture your home, a humble structure of wattle and daub, its walls rough to the touch, the thatch overhead sagging with age. The interior is dim, lit by the flicker of a fire in a central hearth, the air heavy with the smoky aroma of burning peat and the earthy scent of dried herbs hung to ward off illness. Your bed is a pallet of straw covered with a coarse wool blanket, its texture scratchy against your skin as you rise, the cold seeping through the floor of packed earth. Outside, the first light reveals a small garden, its rows of leeks and cabbages glistening with dew, the sound of a rooster's crow blending with the rustle of leaves in the brisa signal to begin the day's labor. Your task is to tend the fields, a constant struggle against the season and the looming plague. The air carries the faint scent of turned earth as you wield a wooden hoe, its handle worn smooth by your hands, the rhythm of your movements a steady thud against the ground. The crops barley and rye must be tended despite the fear, the harvest a lifeline against hunger, and you pause to wipe sweat from your brow, the sun climbing higher, its warmth a brief comfort against the chill of uncertainty. The constant struggle is to keep the weeds at bay, your back aching from the bending, the air filled with the chirp of birds overhead, a gentle reminder of life persisting. Food is a scarce comfort in this time. Picture returning to the hut at midday, the air inside warmed by the fire, where a simple meal awaits, a thin pottage of barley and wild herbs, its faint green hue a testament to the garden's yield, served in a wooden bowl. The texture of the bread, coarse and dense, crumbles slightly as you eat, the taste bland but filling, accompanied by a sip of weak ale brewed from last season's grain. The family gathers around the hearth, the sound of their soft voices blending with the crackle of flames, the air thick with the scent of the stew. This diet, fortified with whatever herbs, like sage or thyme, can be gathered, becomes a quiet defense against the pestilence creeping through the village. The rhythm of eating is slow, each spoonful a moment of respite, the warmth of the fire easing the chill from your bones. The constant struggle to stretch the rations, a silent undercurrent. The afternoon brings more labor, the rhythm of survival, unbroken. Imagine repairing a fence of woven branches, the twigs snapping softly in your hands, the air carrying the distant cough of a neighbor, a reminder of the plague's presence. You gather firewood from a nearby copse, the wood crackling as you break it, the scent of pine mingling with the dampness of the forest floor. The constant struggle is to maintain the household, to keep the animals, chickens, and a single cow fed and safe, their lowing a gentle background to your work. The cold seeps into your bones, your cloak of rough wool offering little warmth, but the rhythm persists, a quiet defiance against the darkness. You pause to mend a tool, the handle smooth in your hands, the air filled with the scent of resin from the wood, the sound of a hammer, a steady tap. This life carries the shadow of the Black Death. The air grows heavy with the scent of vinegar and garlic, used to mask the illness's stench. As families huddle indoors, lives sometimes poured out onto the ground, though we need not dwell on the details. The sound of a bell tolling for the dead echoes faintly, a somber cadence. But the peasant presses on, fortifying their home with prayers and herbal remedies, chamomile steeped in water, its faint bitterness a ritual of hope. The village thins, the fields left untended by absent hands, yet the rhythm of planting and harvesting endures, a testament to their resilience. The constant struggle is to isolate the sick, the air in the hut thick with the scent of burning rosemary. The sound of a child's cough, a soft echo in the night, the family gathering closer around the fire for warmth and comfort. The evening deepens, the sun dipping below the horizon, casting a pale glow across the fields. You return to the hut once more, the air inside a welcome warmth, the fire stoked with the wood you gathered, its flames dancing softly. The family shares a final meal, the pottage reheated, its aroma blending with the smoke, the texture of the spoon rough in your hand. The constant struggle is to find rest, your body aching from the day's labor, the palate offering little cushion against the hard floor. The air carries the faint scent of the herbs, a quiet defense, and the sound of the wind outside a soft hum. The village settling into silence, broken only by the occasional crackle of the flames. The next day dawns with the same rhythm, the air cool as you rise, the ground damp underfoot as you head to the fields again. The constant struggle persists, the plague a shadow that touches every moment. But the peasant's life goes on, the hoe thudding against the earth, the scent of soil, a familiar comfort. The family works together, the children helping with small tasks, their voices a gentle murmur, the air filled with the sound of birds as the sun rises higher. The harvest must be brought in, the grain stored in clay pots, the texture of the sacks heavy in your arms, the rhythm of survival, a steady pulse that carries you through. As the weeks blend into months, the plague's grip loosens, the air clearing of its heavy scent, the village beginning to rebuild. The constant struggle gives way to moments of hope, the fields greening with new growth, the sound of laughter returning to the hut. The peasant's resilience is a quiet force, the rhythm of their days a testament to endurance, the air filled with the promise of spring. Imagine yourself there, the warmth of the fire easing the cold, the rhythm of this life slowing your thoughts, guiding you toward rest as we prepare to leave this shadowed world behind. As the quiet rhythm of the peasant's fields fades into the stillness of the evening, let us gently turn our thoughts toward a figure of steady calm, amid the shadow of the Black Death, a village priest in England 1348, whose presence offered hope to a community in crisis. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a small churchyard, the air cool with the scent of damp grass and the faint tang of incense drifting from within. The sound of a distant bell tolls softly, blending with the rustle of leaves in the breeze. As we explore the priest's life, a beacon of resilience in a time of despair, settle into the measured pace of his days, and let the rhythm of his service guide your mind as we delve into his role. Picture the priest's home, a modest dwelling adjacent to the stone church, its walls weathered by rain, the thatch roof patched with care. The interior is sparse, lit by the flicker of a single tallow candle, the air heavy with the smoky aroma of beeswax, and the faint scent of dried lavender hung to purify the space. His bed is a wooden frame with a thin mattress of straw, its texture rough against his back as he rises before dawn, the cold floor chilling his bare feet. The air carries the distant lowing of a cow from the village, a reminder of the community. He serves and he dresses in a simple robe of coarse wool, its gray hue faded from years of wear, the fabric brushing softly against his skin as he prepares for the day. His morning begins with prayer, a ritual that anchors his life. Imagine stepping into the church, its stone walls cool to the touch, the air filled with the faint echo of his footsteps on the flagstone floor. The scent of incense rises from a small brazier, its smoke curling upward toward the wooden beams. The sound of his voice a low chant as he recites the Latin liturgy, the words a steady cadence in the stillness. The church is small, its windows narrow slits letting in pale light, and the pews are worn smooth by the hands of villagers, the texture a silent testament to their faith. This moment of solitude is his strength, the constant struggle to maintain hope amid the plague's toll, the air thick with the weight of responsibility. As the day progresses, the priest tends to his flock. Picture him walking the muddy lanes of the village, the air cool with the scent of wet earth and the faint tints of smoke from household fires. His sandals sink slightly into the ground, the hem of his robe dampened by the dew, and he carries a small satchel with holy water and a vial of oil, the glass cool in his hands. The villagers greet him with hushed voices, their faces etched with worry. The sound of a child's cough echoing from a nearby hutta, reminder of the pestilence. He visits the sick, anointing their foreheads with oil, the texture smooth against his fingers, the air in the homes heavy with the scent of vinegar and garlic, a desperate attempt to ward off the disease. The midday brings a moment of respite, though it is brief. Imagine returning to his dwelling, the air warmed by a small fire, where he shares a simple meal with an elderly parishioner. Slice of coarse bread, its texture dry but comforting, and a cup of weak ale, its earthy taste a quiet solace. The sound of the fire crackling blends with the soft murmur of their conversation, the air filled with the scent of burning wood and the faint aroma of boiled turnips from a pot. The constant struggle is to offer comfort, his words measured as he listens to tales of loss. The rhythm of his presence, a steady anchor for those around him. The meal ends with a prayer, the air still as he blesses the food, the texture of the wooden table rough under his hands. The afternoon deepens his duties, the rhythm of service unbroken. Picture him standing at the church door, the air cool as he rings the bell to call the village to prayer, the sound a soft clang that echoes across the fields. The villagers gather, their footsteps, muffled on the path, the air filled with the scent of damp wool from their cloaks. He leads a service, his voice a gentle drone as he reads from a worn manuscript, the parchment crackling softly, the texture smooth under his fingers. The constant struggle is to maintain faith, the pews thinning as the plague claims lives, the air heavy with the scent of incense, and the faint sob of a mourner, though we need not dwell on the details. The evening brings a somber task burying the dead. Imagine walking to the edge of the village, the air thick with the scent of freshly turned earth and the faint tang of decay. The ground soft underfoot as he blesses a shallow grave. The sound of a shovel is a steady rhythm, the texture of the soil cool in his hands as he assists the gravediggers, the air filled with the quiet prayers of those gathered. The constant struggle is to offer dignity, his robe stained with mud, the weight of the day pressing on his shoulders. The plague pits grow, the air carrying the scent of lime used to cover the bodies, a ritual of closure in a time of loss. The night falls, and the priest returns to his home, the air still with the scent of incense and the faint hum of the wind outside. He sits by the fire, the texture of a wooden stool hard beneath him, and writes in a small ledger, the quill scratching softly against the page, the ink a dark stain on the parchment. The constant struggle is to record the names of the departed, the air filled with the scent of wax from the candle, the sound of the fire a gentle companion. The village settles into silence, the bells toll a distant memory, and he rests. The rhythm of his day, a quiet testament to endurance as the weeks pass, the plague's grip loosens, the air clearing of its heavy scent, the village beginning to heal. The constant struggle gives way to moments of hope, the church filling once more with voices, the sound of hymns, a soft echo. The priest's resilience is a steady force, the rhythm of his prayers and visits a lifeline, the air filled with the scent of spring flowers as the fields green again. Imagine yourself there, the warmth of the church easing your thoughts, the rhythm of this life slowing your mind, guiding you toward rest as we prepare to explore the next chapter of this shadowed world. As the steady rhythm of the village priest's duties fades into the quiet of the evening, let us gently turn our thoughts toward a mystery buried beneath the soil, carried by the soft whisper of the wind across forgotten fields. Imagine yourself standing on the edge of a medieval churchyard in England, the year stretching back to 1348. Though our tale unfolds in layers of time, the air is cool, tinged with the scent of damp grass and the faint rustle of leaves from a nearby tree. As we explore the enigma of plague pits, mass graves that hold the secrets of the Black Death, settle into the stillness of this landscape, and let the rhythm of their discovery guide your mind as we delve into this quiet puzzle. Picture the churchyard, its ground uneven underfoot, the texture of the grass soft and yielding, dotted with weathered headstones that lean slightly with age. The air carries the earthy scent of turned soil, stirred by a gentle breeze, and the sound of a distant stream adds a soothing undercurrent to the scene. These pits were dug in haste during the plague, their edges rough and irregular, the soil piled beside them like silent witnesses. Imagine the villagers, their hands blistered from the shovels, the wood smooth in their grip as they labored under a gray sky, the air heavy with the weight of necessity. The pits were deep, the ground cool as they lowered the bodies, wrapped in the mystery begins, with their purpose a desperate measure to contain the spread. The Black Death swept through the population. Lives poured out onto the ground, though we need not dwell on the details. The pits, often located near churches or in open fields, became a silent repository for the dead. The air above them, thick with the scent of lime scattered to hasten decomposition. Archaeologists have uncovered these sites in recent times. The sound of trowels scraping softly against bone, the texture of the soil sifting through their fingers. In 2025, as shared on platforms like X, new excavations in London revealed layers of remains. The air in the dig filled with the earthy aroma of clay, the rhythm of their work, a quiet pursuit of understanding. The enigma deepens with the artifacts found within. Picture a pit unearthed in East Smithfield, the soil yielding coins and jewelry, the metal cool to the touch, etched with the faint patina of centuries. The air in the lab carries the scent of preservative chemicals, the sound of brushes against bone, a gentle scrape as researchers catalog the finds. These items hint at the haste of burials, the dead interred with their possessions. Ringsome fingers, the gold dull under the dirt. The constant struggle for the villagers was to honor the dead amid fear. The rhythm of their rituals interrupted. The pits a testament to a world turned upside down. The bones, fragile and yellowed, tell stories of age and health. The texture smooth under careful hands, revealing a population diminished by the plague. Archaeological efforts have unraveled more of their story. Imagine a modern dig site, the air cool as tents flap softly in the wind, the ground marked with strings to guide the excavation. The sound of sieves sifting soil blends with the murmur of archaeologists, their voices low as they uncover layers. Recent findings, including a 2025 study in York, showed pits lined with clay to prevent contamination, the air filled with the scent of wet earth as they dug. The constant struggle for the scientists is to piece together the past. The rhythm of their analysis, a steady process of dating and analysis. The air in the lab, thick with the aroma of old paper from records. This mystery carries a shadow of hardship. The pits hold the remains of families, lives sometimes poured out onto the ground, the air heavy with the weight of loss. Disease left its mark, the bones showing signs of malnutrition, the texture rough under examination. But the villagers pressed on, the rhythm of burial a quiet act of closure. The constant struggle was to find space, the pits expanding as the plague persisted, the air filled with the scent of burning herbs to mask the odor. Yet, the pits also reveal resilience, the presence of charms and crosses among the remains, the metal cold in the hand, a symbol of faith enduring. As the sun sets over the churchyard, casting long shadows across the grass, the plague pits remain a puzzle, their soil holding secrets yet to be fully revealed. The scent of damp earth, the sound of wind through the trees, the texture of stone under your fingers, these sensations linger, a steady thread in the tapestry of history. The constant struggle gives way to moments of discovery, the rhythm of excavation, a gentle echo of the past. Let this quiet enigma ease your thoughts as we prepare to explore a different aspect of medieval life, guided by the soft flow of time. The evening deepens, the air still with the scent of grass, the sound of an owl hooting in the distance, a soft call. The pits, now covered once more, hold their silence, the ground smooth underfoot, the mystery a quiet companion. The villagers' resilience is a steady force. The rhythm of their burials, a testament to endurance. The air filled with the promise of remembrance. Imagine yourself there, the coolness of the soil easing your thoughts, the rhythm of this world slowing your mind, guiding you toward rest as we continue this narrative. As the quiet enigma of the plague pits fades into the stillness of the churchyard, let us gently turn our thoughts toward a world of privilege and contrast, carried by the soft rustle of silk curtains in a grand hall. Imagine yourself standing at the gates of a noble manor in England, the year 1348, the air warm with the scent of roasted game and the faint hum of servants moving within. This is a life insulated from the Black Death's reach, a stark contrast to the peasant's struggle, where the rhythm of luxury shapes each day. Settle into the measured pace of this sanctuary, and let the rhythm of their routine guide your mind as we explore this contrasting existence. Picture the manor, a sturdy structure of stone and timber, its walls towering over the surrounding fields, the roof lined with lead to ward off the rain. The exterior is weathered, ivy climbing the stones, the texture rough under your hand as you pass through the arched entrance. Inside, the great hall opens before you, its floor of polished wood gleaming faintly in the light of iron chandeliers. The air filled with the rich aroma of burning oak and the subtle tang of spiced wine. Tapestries hang on the walls, their threads depicting hunts and feasts. The fabric soft to the touch, and a long table dominates the space, its surface scarred by years of use. This is the domain of the Lord, a world of comfort amid the plague's shadow. The day begins for the Lord, a figure of authority far removed from the peasant's toil. Imagine him rising from a canopied bed, its frame of dark oak carved with intricate patterns, the mattress stuffed with feathers, its softness a contrast to the straw pallet of the fields. His chamber is warmed by a roaring fire, the air thick with the scent of cedar logs and the faint aroma of lavender from a bowl on the table. He dresses in a robe of fine wool, dyed a deep crimson, its texture smooth against his skin, layered with a fur-lined cloak, the softness a luxury as he steps into the hall. His breakfast is abundant roasted pheasant, its juices pooling on a pewter plate, and a cup of mulled wine, the warm spices filling the air as he eats slowly. The rhythm of his meal a deliberate pause. His routine is one of oversight, guided by the manor's needs. Picture him walking the grounds, the air cool with the scent of freshly cut grass, his boots crunching softly on the gravel path. The sound of a blacksmith's hammer echoes from the stables, the texture of a leather rein smooth in his hands as he inspects the horses, their breath visible in the morning chill. The constant struggle is to maintain order, his voice low as he confers with a steward, the air filled with the murmur of accounts being tallied, the parchment rustling under their fingers. The manor's walls shield him from the plague, the air inside purified with burning herbs, a privilege denied to the villagers beyond the gates. Here's the summary in English. The manor is the heart of aristocratic life, where nobles gather for lavish feasts amid the scents of food, music, and the warmth of the hearth. Behind this comfort lies the burden of managing plague-weary lands and preserving authority and family legacy. Beyond its walls, peasants live in constant poverty, laboring in the fields with rough hands and sleeping in cold huts, while the nobility enjoy ease and luxury. As the day wanes, the manor slows. The Lord reads by candlelight, music drifts from the hall, and bread bakes in the kitchen. By night, silence falls, and the divide between noble and peasant remains, even in the stillness. As the quiet of the noble manor fades into the stillness of the night, let the rhythm of medieval England gently slip away, carried by the soft sigh of the wind through the fields. Imagine yourself stepping back from the shadowed huts and grand halls, the scent of wood smoke and spiced wine lingering faintly in the air, the sound of tolling bells growing distant. This journey through the peasant's resilience, the priest's steady guidance, the enigma of plague pits, and the contrasting life of the manor has woven a tapestry of endurance and privilege. A steady thread in the fabric of history, the medieval world faced a time of hardship and loss, their days filled with the scent of damp earth, the murmur of prayers, the smoky air of hearths. Their hands were roughened by labor or softened by luxury, their lives a constant balance against the plague's shadow. Disease and death touched their communities, lives sometimes poured out onto the ground. But these moments were softened by the passage of time, woven into the broader rhythm of survival and hope. Now, as the night deepens around you, let that distant world fade into the warmth of the present. The cold of their fields is replaced by the gentle heat of your surroundings, the sound of their bells by the quiet of your space. The manor's halls give way to the comfort of your own room, where the air carries no chill, and the rhythm of their lives blends into a lullaby for your thoughts. Picture the firelight dimming, the wind outside a mere whisper, and allow your mind to drift, carried by the steady flow of history into the peace of sleep. As this journey ends, let the echoes of their world linger only as a gentle memory, a contrast to the ease you now feel. The rhythm of their struggle, the warmth of their hearths, the mystery of their graves settle into silence, guiding you toward rest. Sleep now, and let the past fade into the quiet night.